Yeah, this is called integrating the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and yoga asana postures. And the Bhagavad Gita, a great one if you're interested in it, is written by Stephen Mitchell. And Stephen Mitchell um, really is one of my favorite scholars who is able to look at ancient scriptures, ancient spiritual religious texts. For instance, the Bhagavad Gita, the Tao. He does like the poetry, Rainer Marie Rilke, Gilgamesh, and all these sort of ancient spiritual stories about uh, humanity and the eternal, the blessed ones, and how to move beyond birth and death if you believe into an eternal space, which there is no such thing as birth and death, that we just, our body and everything here is just a matter, and it's just an illusion, it's not the real self. So getting back to the Bhagavad Gita and the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and the asana postures. What was very the Bhagavad Gita was very instrumental to the philosophy, the spirituality, the letting go of attachments of the Mahatma Gandhi. And basically one of the premises of the Bhagavad Gita is surrendering the fruits of your actions, which means to me is surrendering to the outcome, surrendering to the results of the external circumstances. That the idea of Gandhi and also the sage masters is not to be concerned about power, status, money, prestige, not concerned about getting praise or blame or criticism or anything like that, but about being fully, wholeheartedly present in the moment, giving everything you have. So this is sort of the segue into experiencing equanimity on and off the mats. And I think that's where I'm trying to go to impact the spirituality and of yoga, of practicing on the mat, of the unification of the mind, body, spirit, is this deep equanimity, this deep peace. So the deep peace within yourself, and then you manifest everything eternally. So if you have this deep love, this deep compassion, peace, kindness, creativity internally, then the external will follow. So it's not backwards. We're obtaining knowledge, education, career. It's about the internal becomes so satisfied, so fulfilled, which the thought, creativity, that you bear good fruit of what Jesus said, same thing of the parable of attached to the vine, is basically attached to the spirit of love, of creativity, and everything else will fall into place. All your actions, non-action and action, will be filled with wisdom, love, and compassion for all beings. And so this is just one of the passages called in the Bhagavad Gita, self-possessed, resolute act without any thought of results, open to success or failure. This is equanimity. This equanimity is yoga. So basically how I look at it, with the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita and the asana postures on and off the mat, equanimity, that to visualize, especially I like going to classes. I do yoga at home, but going to classes, and so I get my ego out of the way. So I'm sort of challenged by people who are way more advanced than me, or some that aren't advanced. In the yoga studio that I'm going to, East meets West in Buffalo, it's fantastic. It really pushes me and challenges me, where there's a lot of great students there and teachers who are very knowledgeable, and their postures are a lot more dynamic than mine. But that doesn't matter about, for me, the dynamic or the flexibility of my body, more about the dynamic, my soul being dynamic and my body being flexible. So the idea is to let go of the ego and sensual desires and radical self-acceptance on the mat, fully giving yourself away, fully opening up, fully being a channel of peace, fully bringing all these elements to the mat to transform you somehow. So then you transform yourself and you transform everything that you trust. And the goal, I guess, is to become whole, holistic equanimity, holistic therapy, integrated from all different angles. And this is another time I'm going to get into why I don't believe in Western psychology and Western psychiatry, because it's just hitting one component. So this idea of surrendering the fruits of your actions, it's like what the postures are symbolic to your actions in everyday life. So every posture, you fully present, try to be dynamic, open, transition, and move to the. So it's this letting go, where yoga, in a sense, in a physical form, is birth and death. And so the idea, the spirit behind birth and death is eternal bliss. What we call in the Hinduism is Krishna's spirit, the song of the spirit or the supreme king or something like that. I forget what it is, technical name, but the Aruna is the warrior in the Bhagavad Gita who's about to battle and it's challenged, and he has this conversation with Krishna, and to have this conversation and to gain wisdom and insight of how to live life. But getting back, so the physical form of the manifestations is not so important, but the spirit is connected. And so if you're out of the physical realm and the realm of matter, your spirit, and so you look upon yourself and you're not so consumed about sensual pleasures and pain and gain and loss and fame, that you're really just consumed about being fulfilled in the spirit and giving it and letting it go, and whatever falls into place. So that's why I look at yoga as practice, in a sense of life, of birth and death. And is there something, we all have to question, is there something beyond that is impermanent, or that is permanent, that is invisible, but it is visible to the spirit, that is indestructible? And we see that quantum physics and things like that, where you can't destroy energy or matter. There's something always still there, even though if you try to break it down into subatomic particles, there's always some matter. And we continue to, this consciousness, the evolution of consciousness continues to expand, transform, grow, evolve into a higher level self. And that's sort of what we're trying to tap into in yoga, on and off of mat, to that high self, the third eye, that brings the supreme peace and love, compassion, kindness, creativity to the world that is desperately needed. So that's the Bhagavad Gita, the wisdom of it, integrating it with asana postures.